Degrassi!
Casey's willing to do whatever it takes to not move in with his mom. Plus, Claire is still worried about the relationship troubles between her parents. I'm Kerry from DegrassiBlock.com, and this is Degrassi: The Boiling Point.
You're not your next. You stole
Are you trying to get yourself killed?
to my sister.
Casey is still acting out over the fact his mom wants custody of him by hanging out with the likes of Bianca and Fitz, acting overly aggressive at football practice, and randomly visiting his mom so he can yell at her. He's given a glimmer of hope while when his case is being reviewed, he finds out all he needs is a reference from a teacher saying they think he's better off living without his mom. He goes to Coach Armstrong, who after an awkward exchange basically says no. Casey gets angry and decides to key Armstrong's car. Now, in another awkwardly structured scene, Casey shows up to a meeting with Armstrong, Principal Simpson, Casey's social worker, and his mom. Casey's mom ends up defending him about the car thing and tells him he can live in the group home. Now, I don't know about you, but this plot feels like it rushes in this episode to get to the point where Casey and his mom reconcile. After all that resistance and bitterness, it only took her covering for him in order for him to give her a chance. Despite all that, the actual scene where Casey stands in the doorway terrified is actually really well acted. Now, I can't sign on saying this portion of Casey's plot was great. It just moves at too fast of a pace from Casey talking to Coach Armstrong on, and it doesn't do justice to the progression of everything that's happened in the storyline before that. The plot was much stronger in part 1, and I hate to say it, but I've got to give this plot a C+. In subplot number 1, Claire knows something is wrong between her parents even though her mom refuses to admit it. She confides in Eli, who tells her to use her feelings in her writing assignment. Well, it turns out her writing is so good that her teacher enters her into the student showcase, but Claire gets cold feet because she's too afraid to read aloud her true feelings about her parents' situation. Instead, she just lets her mom read it. Claire's my new favorite character of Season 10 so far. This plot, and of course Eli, are designed, in Eli's words, to make her take risks. When Claire shows emotions, it's genuine, and I love that. Claire and Eli are fan darlings. Aislinn Paul has hit her acting stride on Degrassi, and this plot gets an A+. Now, subplot number 2 continues with Allie's plot post-party. She now believes Drew is her boyfriend, which crushes poor Dave's heart. But the feeling isn't mutual, with Drew throwing out a ton of "I don't want to date you" cliches. Then he all of a sudden changes his mind. But the thing is, the way he acts is just like he wants to fool around with Allie, while she blindly believes that he actually wants a relationship. With Allie and Drew off to her house to make out, it feels like the plot just abruptly ends. Not so much a fan of that, but what we do get is, okay, I guess. So this plot gets a grade of a C+. Coming up next week on Degrassi: The Boiling Point, Sav decides to show his parents he's responsible, but he could end up losing everything in the process. Plus, there's trouble in paradise for Holly J and Declan. Jenna obsesses over her weight, and the results could be disastrous. And Eli decides to put an end to Fitz's bullying. It's all coming up next week, a brand new drama-filled week. And, of course, for the latest in Degrassi news, gossip, and more, check us out online at DegrassiBlock.com.